Cool. Yeah, so I'm Prophet. I'm still getting used to the voice modulator, so I apologize if I stutter a little bit. But yeah, I'm going to talk about the layer for capital formation on the internet. So the first kind of premise here is tokens are terrible. Tokens are really, really bad, and they represent everything that's wrong with crypto, right? We have this problem where you have all these projects over here that kind of got through the initial hurdle of getting traction, but then all the early insiders got liquidity. Like they cashed out 10 to $50 million and retired. Like that's a big problem. And then a lot of them kind of faded out after that. And there's like a few like Bitcoin arguably has like the most adoption in crypto, but you have a lot of projects that have died out because early insiders got liquidity. And then yeah, we have meme coins, which are really entertaining, right? Like this is funny, but is it great for crypto as a whole? Like probably not. Probably not. Um, it's not a good look for the industry. Doesn't make us look serious. And then, yeah, we have this whole industrial token production industry, which is kind of spun up in order so that, like, a few people can just extract money from other people with narratives. Right? Like, Movement is a classic example of this, where it's like a multi billion dollar, I think, still pre product or maybe just now post product project. Where, like, if you the Hack VC internal Slack chat got leaked yesterday, and they talked about how like the project doesn't actually make sense on a fundamental basis, but it's just like this is how valuations work in crypto. We can make money off of this deal. And yet, on the other hand, tokens are also really cool. Right? Like this is the cryptocurrency industry. Like currency is even in the name. And if you look at a lot of the successful projects in crypto, they used tokens as a way to align their community and drive growth. So, like, I think Ethereum is a great example of this, where, yeah, they did this massive ICO for 85% of the supply back in 2014. Um, and it remains dominant on these metrics like stablecoin market cap and number of developers even though it is such a bad product, right? Like we're at a Solana conference, and that's because we believe in Solana, and yet, and that's because Solana is just objectively like by speed, um, by throughput, such a such better product, and yet Ethereum is still dominant. And I think a big reason for this is just like a lot of people own ETH, like a lot of people are aligned with Ethereum's success, and they leverage that. And then, yeah, Jupiter is an example on Solana where they were pretty product focused for a while. Like if you used to go to the Jupiter page, it would say smart, built for smart traders who like money, which is kind of funny now, like thinking about how they've pivoted their brand from that to like the cadets. But yeah, like if you listen to Meow talk about this, like they were very intentional from shifting to a product focus to a community focus, which Jupiter was a big part of, and now they're the biggest Solana native project by market cap. And then yeah, Hyperliquid is like the recent example where they did a huge chunky airdrop, like 3x bigger than most projects do, which is the standard 10%. After that, perp volume 6x, and it's kind of cluttered, or it's taken up a lot of our crypto Twitter timelines. And then yeah, Mega ETH is a more recent example, probably less mature than the other ones on this list. But yeah, did an echo sale to 2,900 people, and yeah, Kaido Mindshare 15x after that. And it's kind of become positioned as like the people's L2. And yeah, I think this is like a really key quote from Ya that explains how he thinks about this, which is, I'm just going to read it out, which is, if nothing else, I am incredibly pragmatic. To be able to say anything about what is right or wrong, Jupiter has to be one of the key winners. The Jupiverse has to be a cultural force, and Jupe has to become one of the main tokens of the cryptoverse. And this is, I think, like key, like understanding the fact that the token and the cultural force is like very intertwined, and the two interact, and like you can't really become a strong cultural force unless you have a strong token, or it's at least much harder. And yeah, like imagine Bitcoin without BTC. That's like an extreme example, but also Helium without HNT, Solana without Sol. Maybe Solana would work without Sol. Like maybe it would have grown. I don't know what percentage of people in this room would be here without Sol though. So yeah. And yeah, so tokens suck. Tokens are great. We are building a platform to make tokens suck less and to take the good parts of them, so that projects can grow and use their power. So it's a pretty simple system. It all fits in this diagram, which is, yeah, so a founder of a crypto project comes with an idea, they launch it on our platform, and then funders can put in USDC over 7 days. And then at the end of the 7 days, if it doesn't raise enough USDC, then everyone gets their USDC back. And if it does, then those 10 million tokens are split up among everyone who put in USDC proportionally. So there's no pre-mine. And 10% of the USDC raised and an additional 1 million tokens are used to provide liquidity in just like a radium pool, so that people can like trade around their position. And then this is the key part, which is that instead of the remaining USDC or tokens being sent to the team, it's sent by a DAO, sent to a DAO, and that DAO actually has control over future token minting and the ability to spend tokens. And yeah, this is key because this means that, yeah, the team can't just like walk away with the money, which is historically what's happened a lot of in crypto. And yeah, so the DAO is controlled by the system called futarchy. It's not token voting. This is not a futarchy talk, so I don't really want to get into how it works. So I'm just gonna use social signaling in lieu of that, which is, yeah, these are the people that use futarchy in some way, shape, or form. Jito, or Drift, Marinade, Dean's List, I guess now Island DAO, and Sanctum. And then all of these people have written reports, normally positive, on futarchy, so Umber Research, Galaxy, Delphi, Blockworks. And yeah, I included this quote because I think it's just like powerful. And yeah, I'm not going to read out the whole thing, but I'll just read out the first sentence, which is, when used to control valuable assets, futarchy is a foundational new primitive that enables joint ownership without requiring trust between owners or third parties. And yeah, that's from Umbra. And yeah, so this is a live system. This was the first project, Mountain Capital. It was the first futarchy governed investment fund. And yeah, it raised 5.75 million from 1,933 people, which was kind of insane because it was like one of the worst market conditions we'd seen in a while. Like a lot of people asking, okay, are we in a bear market now? And I think that's like validation of people kind of believe in the system, and there's demand to allocate capital into it. And yeah, so this is Brian, the COO of Jito. So I'm using some more social signaling to kind of say, like, if you're a founder, if you have an idea of a project you want to build, you should at least consider this system, because smart people like the COO of Jito are saying like $500 million invested this way through 2025. And if you're a pre-seed team, you should seriously consider this before raising outside capital. Because yeah, once your token docs are signed, you're kind of locked into the low FTV or the low float, high FTV playbook that most projects follow. And yeah, if you're potentially interested, if you're a founder and you're potentially interested in this system, please reach out to me. I am MetaProfit on Twitter and Telegram. You can also reach out to MetaDAO Projects on Twitter. So yeah, thanks for listening.